Defensive rebounding has been a consistent need for Alabama over the last few seasons. That and rim protection. The Tide may have finally addressed this crucial area with bringing in Noah Williamson out of Bucknell. Guys, welcome to the Portal. It's an exciting edition here of the Portal as we continue to talk about what is another good Portal ad in the front court for the Alabama Crimson Tide. And that, of course, is Noah Williamson here at a Bucknell. In the Portal, we're talking about the top prospects coming to the SEC out of the transfer portal. Maddie, give us some insight here on Noah Williamson.
So Noah Williamson made both the all-defensive team in the Patriot League as well as won Conference Player of the Year honors. He averaged 17.6 per game and 7.7 rebounds per night, a 1.1 blocks per game, and shot 53.8% from the field. Williamson led the Patriot League with 9 double-doubles, including a career-high 32 points against Southern Indiana. Williamson has an exceptional game on both ends of the floor. Looks like he is going to be a great fit for the Tide this season.
And that's a big point right now. What makes Williamson just particularly valuable when it comes to Alabama going into the season? It's the up-tempo style and the combination of who he is as a basketball player. Williamson, he's out there shooting 31.8% from beyond the arc. And that complements well into what Nate Oates wants to do, and Nate Oates' philosophy, if you will. Sorry about the tongue twister that I got myself on there. But he's also adding a little bit of that bruiser style off, that he's got. And it offers a safety valve when the perimeter shots just aren't going down for Alabama. And that did happen a couple of times last season. This should give you the ability to keep going with what was a very high 2-point percentage last year for Alabama. But this one getting a little bit more out of the big man, especially with somebody who can be physical down low. And that versatility is really something that's addressing a key weakness Alabama faced during crucial moments during last season. So that was really, really big. And this adds more danger when you're talking about through the bigs down low when you're facing Alabama. With Williams enjoying, Alabama can deploy something that like Twin Towers looks lineups, blending that size and spacing with somebody like Taylor Bowen out there in Shirel. Both 6'10", out there and can cause a lot of mismatch problems on both sides. I think Williamson a little bit closer to 7 foot, but the combination of these really, really big forwards out there, it's almost like having multiple Grant Nelsons, if you will, and some shooting numbers that are actually a little bit better than what Nelson was shooting at the last couple of seasons.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about the last couple of seasons. Williamson was really a one-man show in Bucknell. Sometimes it's not just the player that you added to the team, but rather the factor of you adding another big-time player and what's around him theoretically only elevates his game to a higher level. That's part of what Alabama was obviously looking for here when they brought Williamson on. Williamson doesn't have to be the guy every game because he's got other players that are taking pressure off of him. And hopefully that will allow him to thrive in a more fluid game where he's not the focal point for every defense coming after him night after night.
Yeah, it's not Bucknell anymore. Like, he's got more talent around him. He's got more players out there. And maybe that'll see his game just explode and get really even better. But that's also contribute the other big part of this. It's a defensive upswing for Alabama. Alabama last season was a much better defensive team than what they were in 2024. But a dive into those numbers shows that the Tide had key deficiencies that would be elevated to a higher level with somebody like this. Teams were somewhat proficient from the inside against Alabama last year. Alabama averaged, getting blocked more than they would actually block other teams. And the rebounding numbers were right in the middle of the pack in the country when it came to the defensive glass. Noah Williamson answers a lot of that. He's got good rebounding numbers, good size. He averages a block a game, and he's adding that additional defense that Alabama needs to get around the rim overall, and he should be able to terminate a few more possessions out there on the defensive glass. So these are a lot of things to like out of Noah Williamson and what he could be for the Tide coming into next season. So, Maddie, with Noah Williamson and the level of play, do you think shrink or will it go to new heights with all the talent that's going to be around him at Alabama this year?
I think it depends on what perspective that you're looking at when it comes to Noah Williamson. I don't think the same type of numbers are going to be there because, like we said, he was the focal point at Bucknell. but I think he's going to increase his level of play significantly. It may take a couple of points away from it, may take a rebound or an assist here or there, but the fact that he's going to have more pieces to be able to play off of, I feel like as a team aspect, it's going to grow.
It's almost like better tape in spite of better numbers kind of thing is what you're
Yep.
thinking of here. I mean, that's a fair assumption, and I think he fits really well in the front court here. He's got a lot of different players to work off with a lot of different talent, whether you're talking about all the freshman talent that's coming in or you're talking about, the portal additions that Alabama's brought in. My next big question is, really talking about the Grant Nelson comparison. Do you think with Williamson, the front court is going to be Alabama's strength this season? Because that wasn't necessarily something that we would have said with Alabama, going back to last season or the year before.
I don't necessarily think it's going to be the strength, the spotlight of the team, if you will, but I think we're going to see a lot more balance between the backcourt and the front court than we have in the past couple of years.
I think it's definitely so. I mean, and you also consider the rest of the front court that they've got. You're talking about Bristow's coming in, you got Bobone who's coming in, you return Shirel, and then you also got Jemison, Amari Allen, and a couple of other players that are coming in that reclass the one who I can't pronounce yet, but Collins is his first name, Collins O, who classified for the 2026 class for Alabama. You got a lot of talented players coming into this front court, and it could be something very, very special this season. So I don't know. Yeah, I'm close to what you're saying, but I think you're right. I think the front court, regardless one way or the other, is going to play a bigger part of what Alabama does this season. I think we're going to, turn a little different attention outside LeBaron Filan from the backcourt, like we have been for the last couple of years in Alabama. That's just my guess, though. Nate Oates is going to Nate Oates. It's going to be what it's going to be at the end of the day. Guys, thank you so much for checking out this video. Greatly appreciate you guys hanging out with us, Alabama fans. This is the last video we've done, but make sure that you guys have gone back and watched the one on Taylor Bavone, and make sure you've watched the one on London Jemison. And before you know it, season preview is going to be out there. I won't say it again. You can see I'm in the same shirt. I worked on your season preview today, even though these are all coming out on different days. But guys, please check that out as well. Basketball season will be right here before you know it, and we'll start season previews out in September. So guys, please like and subscribe. We'll catch you real soon.
Thanks, guys. Have a great week.